Hey, welcome to Three Guys, One Movie. We're doing a list today. We all got together and we all listed off our top 10 favorite video game movies, and then we averaged it out and saw what showed up on each other's list the most times. There's a couple that are only on one of our list, but for the most part, I think we kind of had similar lists, because there's not a lot to pick from that's actually good.
No, it's a very extremely hard list to make.
Like myself.
Yeah, no, it was hard to come up with more than 5.
It's hard to come up with more than
It's
3.
hard to come up with,
Video game movies just don't work.
Yeah. Speaking of which, let's just run off 5 honorable mentions here, which were the 5 that didn't quite make it into the top 10, but they were on someone's list, so I'm just going to run them off real quick.
Should we just say mentions, because honorable mentions means that they're kind of good.
Yeah, okay, mentions. Resident Evil Apocalypse was on 2 people's lists, but it was real low down. Prince of Persia was on 2 people's list, but it was real low down.
Okay.
Street Fighter was on 1 person's list.
That movie's stupid. But
Hitman was on the same person's list.
That's a stupid movie.
And then Max Payne was on all 3 of our lists, but didn't quite make it into the 10. Because it was like everyone's number 10 or something like that.
Max Payne was kind of fun.
It was shit, but it was Mark Wahlberg.
And then our actual top 10 starting now. Number 10 was one that only I picked, but because I had it at number 5, it made it in, was Need for Speed.
Oh, okay.
Because I think this is probably one of the best examples of picking a video game where you can do whatever the fuck you want with it. Because there's literally no story. It's like, it could just be a Fast and Furious movie and then just call it Need for Speed. Basically, and that's what they did.
Yeah.
And I was totally cool with that. And like, Aaron Paul was fine in the lead. I think wasn't Michael Keaton the villain in it?
I have no clue.
I think he was.
No, he wasn't the villain.
It was some big name actor who was the villain. But anyway,
Michael Keaton's in it.
The movie's dumb fun. And it's just, that's about it. It's like, it's not a great movie or anything, but it's one of the only video game movies that I'll regularly bring up when someone says, what's a video game movie that's actually watchable? I'm like, Need for Speed's okay. Like, it's a stupid popcorn movie, but... And then I guess moving on to number 9 was the one that was only on Zach's list. He had Final Fantasy VII Advent Children.
Oh, okay.
So why don't you explain a little bit about that one?
It's just, it's a sequel to Final Fantasy VII. It's not really that good, but it's watchable. Yeah,
I didn't even know these movies existed.
Well, for a while it was only in Japan, and then I think it was first released on I don't know if I remember this correctly, but I think it was released on the PSP or something like that. It's like a UDM, or UMD, sorry, and then it kind of got a wider release on DVD and stuff like that. It's not amazing at all. It's kind of okay. It's watchable, which is saying a lot for a video game movie. That's my review on it.
I can't say anything of her.
Alright, and then number 8 was only on Mitch's list, Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I think it was actually pretty high on my list, too. I think it was 3 or 4.
It's just because it was only on one list. It kind of made it lower down.
Yeah, the reason why it's on my list is because I had a really hard time choosing movies to put on this list.
Yeah.
The movie itself wasn't that bad.
It wasn't, insulting or anything.
No. It just was not even close to being as good as the video games.
Oh, yeah. No.
And Michael Fassbender was good.
It's not his fault.
It's not his fault. It kind of was really repetitive at times.
Yeah.
But I had fun, and I'm a huge fan of the games.
Oh, yeah.
So it was neat. Just didn't do it as much justice as I would have hoped.
And then number 7 was on mine and Zach's list, Mortal Kombat. That one got in. That was your number 2.
Yeah, that's my number 2. That's
so
honestly,
why do you love this movie
subjectively,
so much?
this is my favorite. My favorite video game movie. Nostalgic purposes play into it. This movie, my friends and I used to watch this movie religiously when we were growing up. This movie is very schlocky. It's very silly. But then again, so is the Mortal Kombat series. It
would have been hard to make this series of movies.
Well, that's the thing. It's it actually does follow the first video game story pretty well. But it's just fun. It doesn't take itself that seriously. It's well choreographed action, like kung fu scenes. Just fun. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I think I had it at 9 on my list. It was in there.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a fun movie.
Didn't even make my list.
Well cast, actually, as well. I will say it is very well cast. I like the the actor who plays Johnny Cage, Lyndon Ashby. He's really, really fun to watch.
Yeah. I guess moving up the list there, Tomb Raider 2, Cradle of Life, made it onto mine and Mitch's list. And I think on both of our lists it was like number 4, 5, something like that.
Honestly,
it was like halfway up.
It was really hard to do this.
I have a total soft spot for both of the Angelina Jolie Tomb Raiders. I find both of them very enjoyable for what they are. They're very stupid.
Yeah. But
they are very good for like a shut your brain off and just watch some cool action scenes kind of thing.
Exactly. And
she punches a shark in the
face.
They
do not hold up at all, though.
But that's kind of why they're fun. There's a certain camp factor to it that I'm like, this is so early 2000s. It's ridiculous.
It's like, 100%. The silver suit alone.
Yeah.
Like,
it's
is
so... It's so over the top, like... You'd get in so much trouble for like female objectification and whatever with this movie being made now, and that's kind of why it's so funny to look back at, because they're so campy and cheesy.
The first one
not well written.
Yeah,
but they are a somewhat faithful homage to fans of the game in terms of how they carry
original
themselves.
series.
Yeah, they're kind of goofy fun, which is always what the games were, but they just had that puzzle aspect, which the movies kind of do too. The second one actually has more puzzles than the first one.
That's fair.
So. I mean, but yeah, number 5 was Doom. Doom made it all the way up to number 5.
You know why it made it number 5?
Mitch had
number 2 on my list.
He had it real high.
That's number 2 on your list?
Yeah.
He had it real high.
Like every other movie that we've talked about, there's a certain camp factor to this movie.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That really, like, it makes it really fun.
There's a character in this movie whose archetype is literally just creepy, rapey dude. He's just constantly hitting on the scientist, and like not in like just a hitting on her way.
But
it's gross.
He gets killed cool.
Yeah.
The Rock's really fun.
Yeah, he's just... Yeah. My favorite line in the whole movie is still just when he shows up at the end of the movie, bashes through a pane of glass, and yells, "Semper Fi, motherfucker."
Yeah.
It's just the dumbest thing.
It's a dumb action film, but it
goes into first person.
One of the movies that actually is kind of true to the video game.
No.
In a way, the monsters.
I mean, it takes place on Mars.
But it's all about hell and stuff like that.
Yeah, but the monsters are very
similar
to the video game. It takes place on
Mars, and they had the wheelchair guy in it, Pinky, the pink guy.
Okay. So the monsters were really close to the video game.
It looked cool.
The storyline wasn't, though.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
And the ending sequence that went into first person
shooter
mode is so stupid.
It's so bad, but it's so funny at the same time.
I own this movie because I find it fun to watch every so often. Just The Rock makes any movie fun. Yeah. Really? So.
Number 4 was, I had this one the highest, but Silent Hill. I had this at number 2 on mine.
Oh, okay.
Just because I love the Silent Hill games, and I still think in terms of, if we're talking movies that do the best fan service, this is probably the best one. Just purely there's not a lot that's special about it as a movie, but just purely as paying homage to the fans and being able to bring some of the stuff from the game to life. There is some like fucking terrifying imagery in this movie. And it still holds up if you look at it now, some of the special effects in it that they had. Specifically for like the nurses, which was awesome because the way they went about doing the weird body movements was they had contortionists dance and then play it in reverse to make the movements really creepy.
I do agree that this movie is complete
Pyramid
fan
Head
service.
was cool as shit. Like,
but that's the thing. Like, this movie was fan service, but in a very bad way. Like, there are parts like
there's the terrible child performance.
The look of the film, like the look of Silent Hill and the look of The Other World, is really well done. And like, there's that opening. Well, the scene when she wakes up in the car and
all the music from the original games.
Well, it's the same composer.
Yeah.
But that scene where she first wakes up and she's in Silent Hill and it's that's completely taken from the first game and it's done really, really well. And there's other little things, but then there is Pyramid Head, who just shows up for no reason because he
looks
in Silent
badass
Hill 2.
though.
Yeah, but he served no purpose.
He's fucking jacked.
Yeah. And then like the sexy nurses from Silent Hill 2, which is what they're actually called.
Yeah.
Which is giving me a dirty look. They're actually called sexy nurses.
I'm not giving you a dirty look.
It's for the audio listeners. What was it? But like they're in there for no reason at all, just because it's Silent Hill 2.
They're fucking creepy though.
Yeah, but it worked for Silent Hill 2.
So they're not sexy?
No. They don't have
the
nice
whole
faces.
point is that like they're messed up faces,
they're totally
but they
disfigured.
have short skirts and cleavage.
Yeah,
but it plays into.
I've never played the games. I've never watched the movie.
It plays into James's role in the Silent Hill 2, but it's just there for the movie, just because sexy nurses from Silent Hill 2. Fuck it.
It's a movie that I'll rewatch every once in a while, though. Just because I really like it.
I could say it's better than from Revelations.
Yeah, well, definitely. But like purely from just an aspect of being able to keep the same atmosphere from a video game to a movie, it does it better than almost any other one that I've seen. And it has a few sequences in it that are legitimately creepy that aren't taken directly from the game. They're just really creepy looking.
Which part?
Well, specifically the one that always stands out to me is the dude in the fucking bathroom stall with his legs tied around his neck. He's got he's all twisted around, he's walking using his hands.
Okay.
That's really fucking creepy. Like, there's some stuff in this movie, and anytime the walls start melting...
Yeah, that was
the whole air raid siren and the walls start melting anytime the town changes, all that stuff's really creepy. I thought it was really cool at the end when Alessa just, like, rips everyone apart with barbed wire.
That was alright.
There's some really cool effects in there. But yeah, I guess, moving on, Resident Evil ended up on all three of our lists. The first one.
Yeah. Well, see, like, this is one where I find... it works as an adaptation just because it's not attached to its source material. Yeah. It's completely different.
The characters are in it, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, not even... well, the first one, it's not even characters. It's, like...
well, Alice.
Umbrella. Alice isn't in the video games.
Well, whatever.
But what was it? It's literally just Umbrella, and they did their own thing with it. And then afterwards, they were like, okay, well, let's put in all this shit from the video games, and that's when it went to shit.
Yeah.
But this one it's kind of its own thing. It does its...
well, the second one just had what's his name in it.
It had Jill.
Nemesis.
It had Nemesis, had Jill and Carlos, and Nikolai.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this movie in a long time. Never played the video games. I like the zombie aspect of these games. I'm a big zombie fan. So that's kind of like the reason why I put this on my list to begin with, is I like the zombie stuff.
I liked that scene with the laser grid when that dude gets like
that's really cool.
But then it was used in so many.
They did it again.
They did like
ones.
two,
which is
3
weird.
times.
I mean, why would you recycle something like that?
Because that's all they got. When they got to the 7th one, there's just like fuck.
Let's laser grid this shit up 7 times.
No, it's the 6th one. 6 is final chapter.
Is it?
6 times.
Yes, yeah, it is. I think.
I thought it was 7th for a second. Yeah. But they did it.
There'll be a 7 soon enough.
There'll be a 7 and it'll be called the final chapter.
Yeah, exactly. The final chapter, part 2.
Yeah. Alice goes to hell.
I guess moving on. Number 2 is Lara Croft Tomb Raider. The first Angelina Jolie.
Oh, okay.
We all pretty much agreed that was one of the better video game movies out there in terms of just being fun.
I don't remember where I put it on my list, but
yeah, it was fun.
It's fine.
It's a very fun movie. It's weird to watch Daniel Craig have an American accent in a movie.
And Angelina Jolie have a British accent.
Yeah. She's honestly though, these movies are the same thing that I said about like the second one. It's just campy and fun. And I feel like there's a certain level of self-awareness to this. Like, I feel like they almost knew what they were doing when they were like, this isn't cool, but we're gonna just play it off as dumb. And it was like even opening it with her fighting some random droid that looks like it's out of fucking Star Wars in like some little like rune thing. It's so weird, but it's funny.
Yeah.
I forgot that Daniel Craig was in it.
Yeah.
It's a fun, campy movie.
Yeah.
And for its time, it was fun.
Oh yeah.
It's not really relevant anymore.
And again, it's totally a movie of its time because it's a total early 2000s movie.
It's definitely an early 2000s
it's
movie.
Just it's definitely not something that I would go out of my way to watch.
Yeah. And then number 1, speaking of Tomb Raider, we all unanimously put Tomb Raider at number 1, the 2018 version.
Yeah.
Yeah, we already did a review on this movie.
Check out our review for it if you haven't.
But it kicks ass.
Yeah,
it's fun.
And here's the thing: all the movies that we talked about earlier aren't great movies. I mean, we might argue on.
I think this one's actually a good movie.
This one's actually
on its own.
a good movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It functions as a movie as well. It's a good movie.
It separates itself from the video game well enough that it doesn't have to be like, oh, it's a video game movie.
Yeah, but it still manages to have the homage.
It has the homage to the 2013 video game and that series.
Yeah.
Setting up a trilogy, maybe. Who knows?
And it's a movie that you can enjoy regardless of if you're a fan. You
exactly.
don't have to be
I didn't play the video games, and I went and saw this, and I thought it was fantastic. It's actually one of my favorite movies. I know it's only near the end of March, but it's one of my favorite movies of the year so far.
Yeah. There hasn't been a lot this year, honestly.
No,
if we're talking 2018.
I mean, no, exactly. But
don't forget about Winchester.
It's good. I thought it was fun.
Hellraiser Judgment.
Woo!
That's a masterpiece.
But yeah, that's our video game list.
Can't wait for the Criterion. I do want to point out, sorry, I was looking it up, and for going back to Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, it was also released on DVD, was not just UMD.
Okay.
I blanked out there. I apologize.
You can get it on more than just a PSP.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't count.
It
So
was
go buy
released
it.
on DVD and UMD for PlayStation Portable. So
Yeah.
The PSP version's better, so buy that one.
yeah.
Portable is always better.
So, end of our list there. Tomb Raider 2018's number 1, no question. All three of us agreed on that.
Unanimously.
That's it. Follow us all on Twitter, Letterboxd down below. We'll have all the links, and suggest anything else that we should review or any lists we should cover in the future. Catch you next time.
Drive safe.